this out.
Actually, no, we cannot edit this out ever. That's
No, you can't
that's
do it.
unacceptable. That goes against FCC guidelines, I think, or so I've been told.
All of a
There are
sudden,
there are no edits.
I'm not allowed to switch cameras. That's so weird.
I mean, all I can say is sometimes one camera is like, no, no,
Yeah,
I
that's
have
weird.
the angle. This is
Okay,
where we're
well,
at.
this is what I'll do. Hold on, I'm just gonna move my laptop and I'm just gonna use
And
that.
people are getting to listen to this in real time. So while Tyler is getting his stuff sorted
Yeah.
out, welcome to the FitBod Blueprint. As always, we're excited to have you guys here. We've been away for a couple of weeks here. Summer is here, and that is always a time of a little bit of an adjustment.
Yeah.
I know for myself, like a lot of times once you just realize, hey, summer typically brings a pattern, especially as parents. You've got to figure out camp schedules, you've got to figure out childcare, you've got to maybe make a couple of adjustments to your work life and your work calendar, and then things get thrown off. And as parents, a lot of times the default will be, well, let me sacrifice my own goals, let me sacrifice my own development. Like personal development, personal care is always the first thing to fall off of most radars for moms and dads. And just because summer is here doesn't mean that we have to just drop every single thing. So today's episode is just about some tricks and tips and areas to at least make you aware of what I call the force field, because that force field is ultimately what will stop us from ever reaching our goals. And whenever we identify it, we can start attacking the force field as the problem, and we can start making our way through it. How do we deactivate this? But first, we have to see it. So I know for myself, like my routine gets thrown off with the very first thing of anyone's day, which is waking up. So
Yeah.
Nikki, being a teacher, she is up at 5 in the morning during the school year, and I am. It's just the way I've always been. Once I'm awake, I'm awake. I do not go back to sleep. I can't just close your eyes and rest. Like if I hear her rustling in the bathroom and opening drawers, lights are on, I'm just not going back to sleep. So for us, it's a big adjustment whenever summer comes around of, hey, we're not getting up with an alarm clock. We're just kind of getting up with daylight coming into our room. So now we're up at like 6, 6:15, 6:30. But that's an hour and a half of wake up, get coffee, take care of the dogs,
Yeah.
drop my robot in the pool, get kids' lunches packed. That is now completely shifted. And whenever
Yeah.
the first thing that you do is thrown off like that, it can throw everything else off. So Tyler, what about you? Like how's your morning routine?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure because this is going to be like a brand new experience for us this summer with Quinn having a summer break for the first time, right? Because she's been in daycare for most of her life, and they would still like there was a summer break, but then she'd go back, and so like she would be gone still all day for all of the summer, and Steph would be working, and so it was now it's she's off. We've got obviously Riley, she's just starting daycare now, and then Steph's had a year off for paternity or maternity leave, and so now she starts full-time work now in July. And so it's going to be, I have no idea because it's amazing how fast you get used to that, like that routine, right? Like with her being off for a year and doing all that and Quinn's still in school, like I was able to get up. I usually get up around 6 or maybe earlier depending on the baby. And I would, get lunches ready. I would, dishwasher, kind of all of those things. Steph could sleep in a little bit. And then around 7:30, I'd just go straight to the gym for, hour and a half. Well, now it's like going to be juggling daycare, drop-offs for both Quinn and Riley, Steph's work schedule, all of that kind of stuff. So it's going to certainly be a big adjustment for sure. And so we're already like, we're starting to talk about it, right? I mean, my wife, she loves organization, right? Like that is like her superpower. And so she's like, all right, we're gonna like make a list of like, okay, on these days we're cleaning this, on these days we're doing the grocery shopping, and on these days we're doing this, which I think it's going to be super beneficial and very helpful. But there's still going to be a big adjustment. I mean, for me, like recently, I was training like 6 days a week. Well, you know what? Come July, that's not realistic anymore because I know for sure one day I'm watching Quinn. Weekends are probably pretty much out the window to go work out. Like there's just going to be other things to do. Steph works one weekend a month at her job, so like there's going to be double dad duty there, which is going to be interesting for that 8 hours. So it's like, all right, like knowing that my next block, I'm going down to 4 days a week, right? And going, okay, like I know Monday's a workout, Tuesday I'm watching Quinn, then it's like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I've got to fit in some cardio there, things like that. So it's hopefully knowing kind of what's coming, and then already before that starts to happen, kind of starting to plan around it. And obviously you're going to have some room for flexibility, but I think like kind of having that organization, especially as like busy parents, like yeah, okay, Monday evenings like I work, so she's going to go do the grocery shopping, maybe drop the kids off at her mom's for an hour so she can get that done, and we just know that's going to be what we do that day, right? And so each day is kind of then broken down. And if you kind of know, then we talk a lot about just that non-negotiables of like working it into your schedule,
Yes.
right? So like you have that schedule, okay, on Mondays I know I've got an hour. That's just my workout time, right? And like that has to be kind of that non-negotiable. And so really trying to plan and be ready for that. Like one thing we're gonna do is we had done this, before the kid comes, we take a day or two and we meal prep for like a month or two, right? Like a ton of meals. You throw them in the freezer, and like those are going to be your lifesavers when it's like, man, today was just crazy. We didn't have any time to do anything. It's like, well, guess what? Like we took that time when we had the time to do a massive meal prep, and those are things that we can just like pull out, things like that. So planning ahead is huge.
One thing that has changed for me, I'm going to catch some heat for this. I was never really a big crock pot guy because it would always like, no matter what I did, it would always dry out whatever the meat was I
Yeah.
was putting in.
Yeah. For
Like
such a
I can,
simple thing, they're pretty confusing.
yeah. So I was like, I really don't like doing chicken in the crock pot. Like I see all these great recipes and they look amazing, but then whenever I do them and I follow the same time, and it's like the chicken is just so damn dry. The last thing I want to eat is this. But what I found was these recipes where what you're doing is you're putting everything in like a gallon Ziploc freezer proof bag and you're just having everything ready to go. And then you seal it and stick that in the freezer so that whenever you are ready for it, now
Yeah.
you're just like you take the whole thing out, it goes in the crock pot, lid goes on, and what that's actually done is make the meat better. And I think it's because it's cooking from frozen instead of raw, so like the extra juices and everything actually keep it tender. So that's been a big one. We've been doing like 2 crock pot meals a night, which has
Yeah.
been
Nice.
great.
Yeah.
Now, the other big thing that happens for us with our meal prep, and I'll get back on the training side in just a minute. This is the time of year where we're able to just really lean into using the grill every night. Like
Yeah.
summer is here, you got a nice evening breeze starting to set in, like sun's going down, starting to cool off a little bit. We get the grill going, chicken thighs, some type of a skewer or a kebab, steaks, lean burgers. We do a lot of those in the summer. And then it's like for a side, everything is on the grill. Like I've got my part for just prepping the protein, cooking the protein source, throw like a couple of potatoes on the grill and do like some asparagus or some green beans, or just take a foil, like a roll of aluminum foil, do like some corn, some peas, some carrots, toss a little bit of olive oil in there, some parsley, some rosemary. I'm getting hungry just thinking about
Yeah.
this. Or
Yeah. I
like
know. I know.
butter
Yeah.
and garlic. Oh,
Yeah.
man, butter and
Yeah.
garlic on peas and carrots and corn is amazing. But it's like, hey, I start the protein in the potato about 10 minutes before that's going to be done. Put the veggie pack in there, boom, done. And the nice thing with that is we're able to be outside and just watch the kids get that last little bit of energy out before bedtime.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
The 6 o'clock sillies.
that is exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We call them,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I've been looking for a term for it for like eight
Yeah.
years now. Yeah, it's the 6 o'clock sillies. So that's like one of the big keystones for me is recognizing how can I structure my nutrition different and what can I do to make it practical. Like the last thing I want is to treat summer the same way we do like winter or like early spring where we're cooking inside, the kids are, you know, drawing, coloring. Like, no, get outside, run around, get that last bit of energy out so you actually go to bed at a decent time. But on the training front, for me, it's very similar. What I train during the school year versus how I train over summer are two completely different things. Because I don't want summer to be a phase where I've got an hour and 20 to an hour and 30 minutes tied up
Yeah.
on working out. I
Yeah.
just don't. I'd rather be able to watch my kids ride their bikes in the driveway or go for a walk as a family or there's other things. Like I want to be able to throw the ball with my kids. So I'm very big on summertime condensing it down to 3 days a week for myself, for a lot of, you know, people. I find that this just ends up being a little more realistic of a schedule. And it's easier to try to fit three workouts in around camp drop off schedules and pickup schedules and oh, we're trying to go on vacation. Like
Yeah.
3 days a week you can be pretty flexible with, but it's
Yeah.
also enough that's like it's less than half of the week that I've got to plan these days for. If I can plan 5 days a week during the school year, why can't I possibly plan 3 out of 7?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's yeah, just yeah, it kind of went what I going back to what I said earlier of just like looking at your schedule and just seeing yeah, what is realistic, what is it that you want to do, right? Like if you only want to work out 2 days a week, whatever, like okay, fine, like that's again better than nothing. You can still be pretty efficient with 2 days a week. Like maybe you're not doing all the arm work you'd like to, but you're gonna have to kind of make those priorities and make those sacrifices. And yeah, I think it should be kind of like the memory, the memories over macros, right? Well, it's memories over training, right? Like if your training is getting in the way of spending that quality time, well then it's maybe time to reevaluate and go, yeah, maybe as much as I don't want to drop down, maybe it's the better thing overall. Because if you've got 5 days of training and you're constantly missing two, well then yeah, maybe it isn't realistic, right? Like going into it, I'm like, I'm hoping 4 days is realistic, but like we'll see. And like there's room for that experimentation too of like seeing what works and what.
The thing that always blows my mind is the number of people that their default is, well, if I can't work out 5 days a week, then I'm just going to work out 0 days a week. And you completely glance over all other options. Like you're missing the point of your workout if you're going, hey, summer's here, so because my kid's schedule got busy or childcare got a little complicated, I'm going to go from 5 days a week to 0 days a week for 2.5 months out of the year in a row. Like you should still be working out because hey, I have better flexibility, I have better strength, I have better stamina, better endurance. I like the way I look whenever I'm working out. I have a confidence boost, I get an endorphin rush, I get time to myself, I get time to think. So you want to go from 5 days of that down to 0
Yeah.
just because you're busy. Well, everyone's busy.
Yeah.
There's always someone busier than you doing more. And people are so quick to undersell 2 days a week. Like, hey, before you drop down to 0 because you think you're above 2 days a week, Stop and ask yourself, if you met someone who was incredibly inactive, who they're not in great health, but they could improve it. If you met that person and they said, "Hey, for the last 2 weeks, I've been working out twice a week," wouldn't you kind of be like, "Hey, that's great, that's amazing."
Yeah. Yeah.
So why are you saying you're above that?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
no one
You're
is.
not. Yeah. You're not special.
I'm special boy. Like 2 days a week, if nothing else, it's keeping you feeling strong. It's keeping your muscles used to getting physical activity. It's promoting blood flow. It's getting all the benefits. You just might not be getting it 5 times a week. It's just twice a week. And if nothing else, 2 full body workouts a week, modify them to be something that either you get done during like kids' nap time if your kids are young,
Yeah.
or modify them to be something that you can do with your kids. Like you may not be getting into the gym and doing more like bodybuilding based workouts, but get in some sprints, get in some lateral shuttle runs. Why
Yeah.
don't you try to do some long jumps? Like as a 36, almost 37-year-old, I'm like, when's the last time that I tried to do a long jump? When's the last time I tried doing a broad jump?
Yeah.
I bet if I did that with my kids, it'd probably be something fun. We'd do it together.
Yeah.
Like, is it giving me the same joy that I'd get out of doing like a heavy bench press? No, but it's still activity.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's the key. Excuse me. The key term there is like it's still activity, right? Get out for an evening bike ride. Go out for those evening walks. Go to the park. Go whatever, right? And yeah, movement is lubrication, right? And so it's kind of one of those things where it's like movement is movement, and as long as you're doing it, like you're moving in the right direction, right?
You can get a workout outside of the gym. Mind blowing concept.
Yeah, I know. I think that that's certainly been lost in the shuffle for a lot of people of like, well,
And that brings me to my next point. For a lot of people, it's more reason why you should have something that you can do at home in your space that's in alignment with at least getting in movement. So I get it. I won't sit here and try to say that resistance bands replace a fully decked out, 20,000 square foot commercial gym, because it doesn't. I'm not a liar. But it's still going to give you something that you can do some bicep curls, you can do some overhead extensions, you can do some chest flies, you can do some rows, you can do some pull downs, pullovers, tricep extensions. You can do so many things with them. If that's all the space that you have in your home for summer, then and that's what works for your schedule, like a 15-minute band workout twice a week. You're not going to step on an Olympia bodybuilding stage with the
yeah,
physique
none of
you
us
built
are,
from
but yeah,
that, but you're going to still have good mobility. You're going to have good joint health. You're going to promote blood flow. You're going to get a lot of benefit from it. It's not the goal that you're maybe wanting, but if it's what fits your schedule and what makes sense, then pivot to it for a little bit or invest in some dumbbells. Or if you've got the space, like I've been working on building out our garage gym, and I'm putting in pieces that make sense for us, that makes sense for our goals and for our space. So, like, of course, Mother's Day happened to hit like around the same time.
yeah.
So the very first thing that we bought, and we already had the adjustable dumbbells and a exercise bench, but are you familiar with the gluteator?
No,
So really cool machine. It combines hip extension with hip abduction. So it's like doing a hip thrust and a hip abduction at the same time. Well, Nikki tried one out a few years ago and was just blown away with it. Was like, this is the most I've ever felt my glutes engaged. This is amazing. Like appropriately sore the next day. And then I looked up, they are built to order by one company, and they're
nice,
like $3,500 delivered.
nice.
Well, I don't have that kind of money, but thank God for China, is all I can say. And they don't care about patents or anything
Yeah,
like that. So as a consumer, I'm grateful for them, but I bought, they call it a 3D hip abduction machine instead of calling it a gluteator.
Yeah.
But I bought that because for me, as like, hey, I'm married. I want my wife to also have space and equipment that she enjoys using. She can easily use on her own. Look, it's not the machine that I recommend people start with
No.
because it literally does. You
One.
could argue it does two things, but it's one movement. But it's something she enjoys. And admittedly, it was a phenomenal glute pump that I got. So I'm about to be the dad with a donk.
Nice.
I'm gonna make sure that that handle's not taken on Instagram.
Yeah.
Dad with a
Yeah.
donk.
I like
But
that.
but you know, maybe you build out your space a little bit. Like we got that. We got a 3-in-1 pressing machine that does flat, does incline, does shoulder press. I can
Yeah.
also stand and I can do shrugs with it. Like there's some cool stuff that you can just get creative and do. We just got a leg extension, leg curl combo machine. And realistically, other than like a cable tower, that gets us doing everything that we need to do in half of our garage. We've got windows to watch the kids. Like this now checks off so many boxes. The sucky side is there's an investment into gym equipment, but the nice thing is this is all things that we're going to use. It makes it fit our schedule. Like it's the first week of summer break, and already we've both gotten in 2 out of our 3 workouts
Yeah.
separately.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I mean, like, look at a summer as like, hey, I'm going to improve on my conditioning. Like, you can go to ChatGPT, give me a body weight circuit that's 10, 15 minutes, right? And like, and that can just be pure body weight, right? Like, if you can go through like, I don't know, like something like a beginner Murph workout, right? And that, like, that should be hard for the majority of people, right? And that's
Yeah.
scalable then as you get a little bit more fit. Like, $20 on Amazon, you can get like a pull-up bar, right? Because you got to do some pull-ups. But then it's like body weight squats, mile and a half run, burpees, things like that. And I mean, those are all things you could easily do in whatever space that you have, like your living room, right? And so look at it as an opportunity to go, okay, like, I haven't been doing a lot of cardio. I've been doing a lot of lifting. I'm gonna work on my conditioning this week, or this summer, and 2 times out of the week, I'm gonna do a 10-15 minute circuit that is absolutely gonna like red zone me for 10 to 15 minutes, and then maybe you get 1 or 2 full body workouts in the week, and it's like, hey, you know what? Like that's very doable probably for a lot of people, and you're gonna be you're and then it's kind of fun because like you're gonna see improvements in something that you've maybe been neglecting, right? And so maybe you're not getting super strong in the gym, but now your conditioning is starting to go through the roof, and like you're gonna feel pretty damn good as
Oh
that
yeah.
starts to improve and your VO2 max starts to improve as well. So it could be even as something as simple as that 10-15 minute body weight circuit 2 to 3 times a week.
1,000%, man. Like you don't need a whole lot of space, but get in some type of movement. The other thing that I used a lot last summer was the DDP yoga app
Okay, yeah,
because it's literally just where are you standing? Like, hey, that's cool. I can get it done wherever I'm standing as long as I've got room to roll out a yoga mat. And what I noticed was my flexibility improved. There were still challenging workouts because it combines calisthenics. It was
yeah,
great. I
yeah.
loved it. That is, in fact, it's something that I keep a subscription to all year round for it because when we travel and like we go see our in-laws or we go visit my parents, I don't want to take away time driving to a gym. And now it's time that I'm not spending with family that, our parents are getting older. I want to spend time with them whenever we're with them, the handful of times a year we see them. Well, at the same time, at 5 o'clock in the morning on on the East Coast, like, hey, I might just be up. Maybe I'm not sleeping super good, but I can do a 15-minute little DDP yoga workout on the back patio, and it's something that I'm not having to think through because that's the other thing as a fitness coach, sometimes the last thing I want to think about is programming a 1 week thing for myself. Yeah. So like adjust your expectations, adjust what are you trying to get done for summer, and let's also address an elephant in the room before we shift into a next topic. But people ask me about training on vacation, and for me as a parent, it's a I don't do it. It's not something that I want to do whenever I'm on vacation with my kids. Like, we take one trip a summer with our kids. My daughter is 8. I don't know what the future is going to hold for her whenever she graduates high school and ready to go off to college. But I potentially only have 10 summer vacations left with my daughter. I want to make memories. So, like you, I love what you said, memories over muscle, right? Let's call it that.
Yeah, there you go. That's good. Yeah,
Memories
that's
over
good.
muscle.
Yeah,
I would much rather take a week off from my training where it's not like we go on vacation and just get glued to a freaking couch. Like, we're going to get in steps. We're going to go for walks. We're going to go do things. We're going to go to parks. But as a parent, you have to recognize, like, hey, your kid's summer is where a lot of core memories will be made. And don't you want to be present for them? You also want to be healthy enough for them, though. So that's why there is a balance and there is expectations that should be adjusted. You shouldn't go to zero self care, zero physical activity because summer is here, but you shouldn't also hold the same hard line of, nope, I'm working out 5, 6 days a week, 2 hours to drive to the gym, get my workout in, come back home. Shift it. Make the
yeah,
time with your kids.
yeah, totally.
So, the other big thing for summer, let's talk on sleep a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like 2, 3 months ago, what time was it getting dark for you?
Probably like around like the 6:30, like ish, right around there. Yeah,
And what time is it getting dark for you now?
10.
Yeah. So, like,
Yeah,
I don't know about you, but summer, this early part, like my sleep suddenly starts sucking.
yeah, yeah,
So even more reason to have some type of a routine, right? For me, I know I can't fall asleep if it's still light outside. I'm kind of like a bird, I guess, in that sense.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's where I have like an eye mask that I
Nice.
that I use. Yeah, like because I like that's super helpful for me because yeah, then it's just blacked out, right? So it makes it a little bit easier to fall asleep. But yeah, it's still hard. I mean, thankfully right now, like our kids are just so exhausted by the end of the day. Like they're still kind of 7:30, 8 o'clock, and we got blackout curtains in both of our rooms too, and that helps. But yeah, it's still hard when it's that nice out. And like I feel bad sometimes crawling into bed at like whatever 9 o'clock, and it's still light out. And like I got like a little propane fire tank. I'm like, man, we should be sitting out on the patio having a little fire, like hanging out. But too, as parents, like I'm just so tired. Like I just want to go to bed.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. Like, hey, it's easy to just let the time differences and the sunset differences, it's easy to let it really kind of screw with your sleep. But some things that I've found helps. One thing you already mentioned, the blackout curtains, like those are worth every penny. If you don't have a pair, the other thing that really helped out, and that's the nice thing about now being in our own house instead of a place we were renting, is for our bedroom, we went with a dark paint on the wall.
Yeah,
So it is pitch black in
yeah,
that room at night, and I love it.
yeah,
I noticed that so far, like knock on wood, this summer, my sleep is so much better already compared to a year ago. And I think it's a lot to do with those two things. I also am a big fan of stopping any type of like media consumption. I have a hard line at 9 p.m. I won't. My phone is in the bathroom on the charger. I make sure the TV is off in our bedroom, and that's like my reading time now. So it's easy for it to be like, oh, it's still daylight. Like, oh, it's probably only like 8 o'clock. And then you realize, oh, shoot, this is like the fourth episode of Dutton Ranch that I've streamed in a row.
yeah,
Crap, it's actually 11 o'clock at night.
yeah, yeah. I think that's just a good rule of thumb across the board, right? Of kind of having that hard line. But Yeah, especially when, maybe that, that alone time as parents is just so rare. I mean, now, especially with our kids going to bed at, 7:30 ish, right? Like, it's like you get out of the room and it's 8:15. You're like, oh, okay. So, like, I'm climbing into bed now in 45 minutes. This is kind of the first time I've seen you today. Like, hi, my name's Tyler. How are you?
Yeah, yeah. So I'll tell you something that we've been doing. It's an app called Show Her Off Dancing.
Yeah.
And I have two left feet. Surprise, I am not a
Yeah.
dancer.
You're so graceful, though.
I know. So we've been doing that because it's just like quick 5 minute like dance lesson. Like, hey, you watch them do it. They do it. They go slow. But that's been like a big thing for us too. Is by the time the kids get in bed, it feels like we've got an hour to just be a married couple. And I have to ask, like, well, you shouldn't have to ask yourself, but it's like, hey, ask yourself, what do you want for that hour before you go to bed? Do you want to watch The Office for the 14,000th time?
I mean, great show. So sometimes, yes.
I mean, I love The Office, but do you want to have connection with your spouse, with your partner? And that's where we've gotten really big on things like this. We also have it's a card game that we got at Walmart. I think it's like, get closer and you're asking each other questions.
You got it at
We
Walmart?
did. There is also the after hours version,
Yeah.
with the X-rated stuff, but we've been enjoying because it's also asking questions like, hey, think back to a memory from like I think one of the questions is like, think back to a memory from fifth grade. What was the most like what was your favorite holiday or
Yeah.
something? Or hey, what did you want to be whenever you were in third grade? Or hey, your what was the first song you listened to the first time you drove on your own? It's questions where you're
Yeah.
trying to think. So we've gotten very big on making that shift away from like consuming media, consuming like digital entertainment, and just possible even like elephant in the room, right? Of by doing that, by focusing on more of our connection, it is leading to a lot more intimacy. And I'm just going to be real honest. Who doesn't have an orgasm and is just ready to go to sleep?
Yeah, exactly.
If that doesn't improve your sleep, there is
Yeah.
something wrong with you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah. It can be because you can feel so, I don't know if overstimulated is the right word, but you just want to turn that brain off at that time of day, right? And it's so easy to just, yeah, throw on the tube and, yeah, kind of. And don't get me wrong, I think sometimes like that is the connection you guys kind of need, right? Like you just need to be off in your own little world for a little bit and just like, whew, right? Like that was the day. Like I know, like Steph starting back up will work again. It's been a year. In summer, she works at a local farmers market. She helps run the produce department. Guess what time is the busiest time of year for them, and guess what time she's jumping into. So yeah, like there's gonna be that adjustment period of like, yeah, you know what? By the end of the day, we're probably just gonna want to sit in front of that TV. But it is, yeah. I think a really like you made me think like, man, we should get like a crib board, right? And like once the kids are down, play a little crib. You can just kind of maybe share a glass of wine or some couple glasses of wine, hang out, have a little chat, and then you're off to bed. So yeah, I think that's a really good point by you and something like I hadn't even really necessarily thought of.
Yeah, we have a rule now of no more than 2 nights a week with the TV after the kids go to bed. Because,
Yeah.
like you said, there are some nights where it's like, hey, I just want to put on The Office, or yeah, I like watching, I like Dutton Ranch, I like anything Taylor Sheridan. I don't know if you remember this show from the old Spike TV. It was called Deadliest Warrior.
Yeah, yeah. They would compare like who would win or something like that. Like this
They would
warrior.
test out the weapons to see like, hey, what's the ballistics look like, and like
Yep.
we started watching that because we were scrolling through. We were about to get to Dutton Ranch. I went, whoa, 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 whoa! what's this? I was like, Deadliest Warrior. Man, I forgot about that show.
Yeah,
So I started telling it to
nice.
Nikki, and she's like, well, that kind of sounds cool. Like,
Yeah, yeah. They would run like
what?
1,000 simulations and like then
Yeah.
like
So
whatever
we
do
watched,
the battle. Yeah,
yeah, it was the Knight versus the Pirate episode that we
nice.
watched last night. And I'm sitting there like, oh, I've seen it. I already know who wins this
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Like, what do you think? So, but it's still like, hey, we're watching it to engage
yeah,
together instead of like, okay, I'm playing on The Office, you're scrolling on your phone, I'm scrolling on my phone. Whenever it's the fire drill scene for the opener, we're both going to look up and laugh, and then we're right
yeah,
back to our phones. Like,
yeah, yeah,
so my thing is, let summer be something where yes, you adjust some of your goals, you adjust your expectations, but you don't just give up on things. Try some new things because for me, summer is about family. It's about making memories, but it's not just make memories with the kids. It's also make memories with your partner. Connect with your partner. Hey, you're still trying to be in good health and good shape because, like, man, if I'm not in good health, how am I keeping up with my kids? Like, as a husband, I also do have an obligation to still put in some kind of freaking effort for my wife to
yeah,
find me attractive.
yeah,
So, yes, part of that is working out. So, we don't give up on these things. We don't just suddenly throw them all to the wayside because summer is here and no, we got a trip or two planned. Find what can you do and do that. And as soon as you can do more, pump the gas more and do more.
yeah, yeah. Beautifully said.
All right. Well, with that in mind, do we want to do a quick round of blind rank?
Let's do it.
All right. So I'm thinking let's blind rank five. I got it. I got it. Blind rank five summer vacation spots.
Ooh,
All right. I'm curious to see what Chat GPT kicks out. This is interesting for me because I'm familiar with this one. The first one is Destin, Florida.
never heard of it.
So it's in the panhandle. It is very much like tourist trap, but it is a
Yeah.
beautiful beach.
Okay. I
Because
mean, I like the beach, so
all right. So I'm gonna give it a 4 because of the
okay.
touristy.
I'll go for then because I don't like tourist spots.
Okay, all right. It's hitting with another one that I'm also familiar with. Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Now,
Never
if you're big on like
heard of it.
history,
Never been.
yeah, like if you're big on history and you like they've got some good national forests nearby. Think kind of more like outdoorsy
Okay.
type,
Yeah.
but you also have like Dollywood, so you can get like the country
Okay.
version of Disney
Yeah.
World
Yeah.
for the same cost of Disney World.
I'll go. I don't know. I like being outdoorsy, so maybe 3.
3, okay. I'm gonna just be a little contrarian, and I'm gonna put it 5. No disrespect to Dolly. San Diego, California.
I've never been, but like I've heard it's absolutely beautiful. Like I don't know what there is to do there other than the beach. And again, I like the beach, and it's California, so I already did 3 and 4. I'll go 2.
I'm gonna go 3. Same thing. Like I love the beach. The weather's beautiful. Just don't know. All right. Next, it's given us Honolulu, Hawaii.
I don't know because I know it's super touristy and super expensive now, but I've always still like it's Hawaii, right? Like you kind
Yeah.
of want to go, you want to go experience it. I'll go 1 just because like it's Hawaii.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 1 as well because I'm gonna assume, and we didn't set this rule, but I'm gonna assume like, hey, you don't pay a dime for anything. This is all good. You're getting
Yeah,
like creme de la creme experiences.
yeah,
I'm
fun.
gonna go number 1. There's a reason why people will save for a vacation for like 2-3 years
Yeah,
to go to Hawaii. So I'm gonna go 1. Oh man, the last one that kicks out is Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
I don't think I've ever been there. I know it's probably like I feel like it's one of those like it's pretty overrated though once you're there.
Yeah, there are parts of it that are absolutely beautiful, but it is very touristy, lots of
Yeah,
timeshares.
right. Well, it's a good 5.
Yeah, honestly, I would move that to my 5 spot. Here's the thing. I'm potentially going to catch a lot of heat for this. Once you have been to a beach on the Gulf Coast,
Yeah.
you cannot go to a beach on the Atlantic coast.
Yeah.
The Atlantic Ocean is dog shit.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
whenever Nikki and I got together, because she's from Jersey, and she was like, "Oh yeah, the Atlantic Shore, the Atlantic Shore." I was like, "No, no, 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 no.
No, no.
We're not doing this Jersey Shore
You should
stuff."
go West Coast too. Yeah.
I was like, we're gonna go. We're gonna go to my beach spot here on the Gulf of Mexico, and then you tell me which one's better.
Yeah.
We've never been to the Jersey Shore
Yeah.
because I
You
took
never
her
been
there.
back.
I took her to I took her to my spot. I don't want to give it away. I took her to my spot on the Gulf, and that was it. She was like, "Nope, the other one's trash." I take it back. We went one time. My sister in law and brother in law, they have a timeshare in Florida on the East Coast, and we went there, and I was like, they don't know what they're missing.
Yeah.
The water is crap compared
Yeah.
to blue, crystal clear, sugar sand beach. This is such crap. I will
Yeah.
never ever vacation on the Atlantic coast
Yeah.
ever.
Amazing. I love it.
So for that reason, Myrtle Beach should be number 5, if not bumped off this list.
Just
Okay,
done. Yeah. Okay.
that's my hot take. Apparently, ChatGPT loves tourist traps for its suggestions on vacation spots. So until next time, be sure to like, share, subscribe, give that follow button a big old smooch, and we will see you on the next one.
See ya.